Alright guys, we finally got okay weather, although it is sprinkling a little bit, but it's Mustang Mod Day. It's Saturday. I finally got some time, so we're gonna get the pony in the shop, do some things to it. Couple things I want to do today. One is I want to get the lowering kit on the rear. I want to tint the windows and get the hood scoop on. So we're going to drop this overly high stanced machine down. I probably should have got a different kit that was 2 in the rear, 1.5 inches in the front, but I did not. Hopefully the hood scoop will go away today if we get enough time, and tint these overly bright windows. So that said, let's do a cold start on an 09 GT, and then we'll head to the shop. Okay guys, so here's how I tint windows. I go on eBay, Amazon, whatever, get your pre-cut window film. You can get it for any vehicle. You can get all the windows, but as you can see, my rear windows are done, so I'm just going to do the driver and passenger doors. So first thing, the key is clean. Got to keep it clean. Glass cleaner, clean it a lot. Razor blade, you want it spotless, because if there's a little bit of dirt or anything on there, it's going to be a problem, right? So I go over it a couple times with a razor blade, then you're going to go over it with the glass cleaner and make sure everything is kosher. Then we'll skip on to the next step. I already went over this one, but this is basically what I do. Just keep going over it, make sure you hit every square inch. If you hear something weird, you know, you got to make sure you get it off of there. We'll see if you can hear it, but when I go over this numbers and font on here, it'll make noise. Now there you can see stuff coming off. I'm pretty sure these windows were tinted before, because there's some residue down here in the bottom. That's what you got to get off. See that down there? Stuff like that. You'll hear if it hits something. Anyway, I got a bunch of work to do down the bottom here. These Mustang windows go down a little bit when you close them, so I don't know if I can cheat and close that and make them come up just a little bit to get the rest of that stuff off, but I'm going to give that a shot, so we'll be back. Okay, after you've gone over it with the razor blade until you know it's clean and there is not anything else on there and you're positive, I take glass cleaner, go over it a couple times with that, and you want to use a really clean white towel or white whatever color. But you want a clean one, so you don't want to leave a bunch of lint and garbage on there, so don't use those fuzzy little towels. So this is what I do next, or you could probably use a squeegee and squeegee it off, but I do that in the next step when I use the soapy water. Alright, after you cleaned it off really good there, and you know you got all any residue or any other junk off, make sure you clean off all the way around. Clean off the trim inside the car, the edge of the windows. If your car's dirty, do the outside too, because you're going to put your film on the outside first. So get everything clean, because if it's not, you'll see it. So next step, simple Johnson's baby shampoo, squirt bottle, I don't know, pour a shot in there to where it's soapy, put a bunch of water in it because you want soapy water, and this is what you're going to use to float the film on. Now we'll top it off with water. Okay, got a bunch in there, we mixed it up. You can see it's bubbly soapy, that's what you need. So being a rookie, I always do the passenger side first, because that way if I mess up I don't have to look at it. I've been fortunate, not had too many problems, but you know, this is a $20 window tint, it's not a $200 one. So I mean, if you're super picky, you maybe should pay someone to do it, but you know, if you don't mind having a little imperfection here and there, it's worked great for me. For 5 years I've been doing this myself. I've saved thousands, so every rig. So some tools I use, other than that spray bottle, you go to the dollar store, get that. So you can get these putty scrapers, which are good. The first one I put the tint on with it and used it as a scraper, and it scratched it in some places. So I just use this for the edges now to work things down in. But you can also buy these pretty cheap. Amazon, eBay, I'll have links in the description to everything I use, but it's got a nice soft edge here, and then it's got a hard edge and a point for doing like down in the corners and working down in behind the trim and stuff, pushing the material down. So these work really great as well. I've also got this one. I kind of got a kit, and this one works good for squeegeeing out stuff, but it does have some sharper corners on it, but it is just rubber. So that one won't work for poking things down in. And then I got this thing, I don't remember where I got this, but that works good also for poking stuff down in if you got a problem or a tight corner where you can't get anything else. And then this is just a simple rubber squeegee. Works really good for cleaning the window off, as you'll see, and just you can squeegee out the window with it as well. You need that many tools? No. Professionals just use one thing like that or whatever. But you know, even all in, all these cheap tools and cheap tint, I'm still, you know, a ton of money ahead. So let me get this thing on a tripod and we'll show you how it goes. Okay, so where I start next is I clean it off really good. I use the cleaner, douche the corners really well, get that trim really good, and then the window on the inside for starters. And then you'll take a squeegee and I'll just squeegee all that crap off and get rid of it. Clean the window. I might put some more soap in there. That doesn't quite look like enough to me. But this is where your little pointy one will come in. You can get down in the trim and really clean it out well. Or you can use the other side, which will also work good. Because you want stuff clean. Clean, clean, clean is the key. If it ain't clean, it ain't gonna look good. Make sure your hands are clean, your material's clean. You want everything to be clean. Clean is key. Sometimes I'll do that a couple times if I'm not sure. Pretty sure this one is good. I'm not as worried about it. Squeegee all the stuff down in there. Try to get the trim. Has some stuff on it, so I'll probably try to get in there with something and clean some stuff off of this. I call it trim, but this molding. I mean, it should be the outside because you'll be putting the film onto the window and then squeegeeing it down into there. That's why I'm pushing everything down in a way. Trying to here. It's up to get in that corner there. Okay. Do believe that's pretty good. What I'll do is give it another good douching. And just clean her all off. Use this one this time. If you're a pro watching this, let me know what I'm doing wrong. You don't want the window to get too dry when you're doing this, because you want this to slide off. Obviously you're squeegeeing off the stuff, but so from there we're going to clean the outside of the window the same way, and then we'll put the film to the outside. Okay, good deal. This will make sense in a minute. Okay, so the next thing with the film, get the outside of the window all wet again. You got to figure out which side goes on which side. It can be part of the fun sometimes. But you're going to kind of look at it backwards, right? So this one should come off this side if it's the right way. We'll find out here shortly. So we'll just kind of stick it to the window. What you want to do is figure out which side peels off here, and I peel off the extra around the window film itself, so there's nothing on there. So all you have on this backing is the film, and sometimes that can be a little challenging. Here I see a couple little bubbles at the top, so let's just go ahead and see if I can't get my little knife in there and figure out which side's what. Okay, so sometimes part of the fun is figuring out which side goes where. The thing about tint is you do not want to kink it. So here you can see I'm peeling off the extra. carefully, so that all that will be left on there is what I'm sticking to the window. Okay. There. So you'll notice this is backwards, so once I peel it off of there, it's going to go, it'll flip around and go on the inside of the window there, which is what we want. So where you go from here is, and it might be easier to do on a rear window of the car, but you want to peel it off of the plastic, off the clear, and you want to soak it down. Then you'll want to do it so it'll come off of that plastic film easy. This is where everything gets wet and messy. And keep that back window wet for when you're ready. I'm going to keep everything wet on this side. I wet my fingers down and make sure that they're clean in case you got to touch the back side. So now you got to get the clear off of the back. But you don't want to kink it. So once you spray this on there, it won't stick too bad anymore. What I'm actually going to do, I'm kind of doing this backwards. I'm going to turn this around now that I got it kind of loose, and we're going to stick the film to the window, kind of the way it's going to go, very carefully without kinking. And then you're going to want to peel the clear side back off and down and keep wetting the film so it'll come off easy once you flip sides, right? Again, I'm not an expert, just a hack that does this in his garage. Just take your time. Like I said, do not kink the tinted film. That's when bad things happen. You don't want it to come off and fall back. That's when bad things happen. There's no time frame to get this done. Your boss is not screaming behind your back. So wet everything down. That way when it comes time to do it, it'll come off easy. I almost need to pull it a little farther back this way. There we go, pull it back a little further, kind of stick it to the window again. Try to get this peeled back a little more. There we go, good deal. That's what we want to see. So again, you just take your time, get her peeled around. Try not to kink anything, get everything wet, that way it'll come off of this backing film really easy. And it just takes time. Okay, well, get this backside wet. Always douche down the seams really well. Everything is soaked and ridiculous. That's how you gotta do her. Let me get that window to come all the way back up again. So, there goes the window. Get everything nice and juicy again. So here's the way that I typically do it. So you pull the film down clear cover back down off a ways. Again, trying not to kink it. Then you'll pull it off the window. Carefully. And stick it onto this side. Kind of try to line the top up. Get her moved up into place carefully, a bit at a time. So you want your top edge to be pretty tight and close. Get your gaps looking pretty good, right? Get a good seam going. And get that corner right. You want your gaps even on the sides and everywhere. This one's going to come up a little more. Come forward a little more. This is where your squeegee will kind of come into place. When you squeegee it out a little bit like so, it'll stick pretty well. So I got to come down in the front. Means we probably got to come forward just a little more. Okay, I've got it pretty close. This film is just not quite fitting this curve just perfect, which, you know, maybe just the byproduct of cheap film, I guess. But so what you're going to do next is kind of peel the backing out and try to get the bottom up in there. So get it really wet on the window and on the surfaces. Make sure everything is clean here because the tint's going to touch a lot of things. This is where things get weird on the front and whatnot, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. This is where the pros shine because they do this stuff and just make it look easy. But looks like we got it in place, as good as it's gonna get. Keep getting the window films wet so that the squeegee will slide easy, and just kind of keep pushing it down. The edges are the fun ones, as you see. I hope this worked out as good as it looks. That one I have to just go in this way and push it down. Then after I do that, I can do the ones down here. This will seal up the bottom edges down there. And obviously you'll squeegee out the window stuff here, so. Looks like it turned out pretty good. Pretty happy about that. Awesome. No more driving around in a fishbowl. See if we learned anything from this side and we can get the other side okay. I'm a little concerned with probably how much dirt we're going to have in this side after all that screwing around. But $20 window tint, right? Okay, there you go. One side done. I'm just going to clean it off a little bit, and then if bubbles pop up, I'll just keep squeegeeing them out. But other than that, this side's good to go. Okay, I kept going through it till it's clean. Now we do that, nothing comes out, so I'm gonna get it super wet. Get it super wet on the outside, and then we're gonna do the same thing with the film. Here we go, we're gonna try to do this one without screwing it up. So cross your fingers for me. Alright guys, well it turned out great. I'm pretty happy with it. Doesn't look like we got much dirt in it from when it touched my arm. I got it cleaned off pretty good. You can see it's going to have a nice little bit of tint. I don't want it too dark. I think this was 35%, I believe. You can see it's just enough. Close the doors, both the doors, it's going to be great. Check out the other side of this beautiful car. There's that window. You can see everything kind of dried for the most part and it's looking good. I usually keep an eye on it for a day or so. See if there's any little bubbles that come up or anything. If you don't have it quite on there square, sometimes it'll get a crease bubble, like a line that'll come up or something, but I don't see that being the case this time, so it's not going to be an issue. So far so good. So I'm going to leave the doors open like this, let it tack up a little more before I close it, because this car, whenever you open and close the doors, the windows go up and down, so you really can't leave them for very long, like you can in a normal car where they just stay up. So I'm going to leave it open until I have to close it. I'll post a picture after this or a little video outside. We'll see the GoPro camera says there's 5% left in the battery. She's running out of juice, so I'm going to put it on the charger. So thanks for stopping by. I appreciate y'all. Alright, here's the done deal. Window tint turned out great. I think the reason it didn't fit quite right is for this car you see the edges, so the tint should have been 100% to the very edge of the window, but not a big deal. It still looks pretty good. So for the money I saved, I'm pretty happy with it. It looks as good as the tint on the rest of the windows. Awesome. Alright guys, like, comment, subscribe, follow links down below in the description. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace!